What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of For the Ages, where we talk about all things golf and golf history. I am so stoked today to be joined by my guest, who I'll introduce here in a second. My name is Cody Wise. I'm your host. We have the privilege of coming to you from Bluejack National in Montgomery, Texas. My guest today, Will Schulze.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Will?
Thanks for having me,
Of
man.
course, man. So Will, you and I go back a little while. So
Very long time. KFL.
KFL, yeah, yeah, back in the day. Thankfully, we're not giving each other CTE anymore. We're more so out there competing on a golf course.
Absolutely.
A little bit better for the body. Um, so yeah, man, why don't you just for some of the viewers, just like give everybody an intro on yourself. I'm also curious, like, how did you get into the sport of golf?
Yeah. Yeah. So, born in Chicago, moved to Houston, Kingwood specifically in 2001. Um, Went to Kingwood High School with this lad over here, played on the high school golf team together. Have tons of mutual friends through Kingwood, the sphere of Houston itself, and Texas State University. I um I got into golf about 30 years ago. So I grew up in a big golfing family. My father and my grandfather got me into the game at a super young age in Barrington Hills, Illinois. So been playing this game for a very long time, and I absolutely love it. So
Yeah, man, we've had the pleasure of teeing it up a lot over the years. I mean, we've played a lot of casual rounds, some competitive rounds too. Very familiar with the Schulze family. Your parents, just great people. I love running into your dad out at Kingwood Country Club or Deerwood whenever I'm back home visiting my folks. That's really cool though. It's a cool story of how you came about. Mine was a little bit different. I didn't really come from a golf family, but it's cool that you sort of had that like in your fabric
yeah, yeah,
growing up.
absolutely. It's just in our blood on the Schulze side. My mom's side too, but my dad and my grandfather definitely introduced me to the game.
Yeah,
So
cool, man. Well, we're gonna jump into some history. I mean, this is a golf history podcast,
yeah,
so
all
we're gonna
right.
talk a little bit history. We are in a pretty sick spot right now.
Yes,
We
yes,
got
we
to
are.
point that out. I mean, so right now we are sitting on the driving range, literally of Blue Jack, and I mean, this place is incredible. The facility is incredible. Shout out to Jeff Whitespear. I mean, hooking it up today, fortunate that he was able to invite us out. Will, you texted me about a week ago.
Yep.
I probably responded back in like 3 seconds.
Yes.
Like, yes,
Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of unique history about this course. So if it's cool with you, let's go ahead and dive in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do it.
So a little bit about Blue Jack. The story actually begins back in the 80s. So there was a guy named Thomas Blake who developed Blake Tree National Golf Club. It was back in the mid 80s
Yeah.
here. And we're in Montgomery, Texas, what, 40, 50 miles north of Houston,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
The course was okay. Scott Sewell, who played with us today, he actually was telling me earlier in the cart that he played Blake Tree
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day. And he was like, yeah, it wasn't anything like to write home about, which is kind of interesting because now you see it and it's like it's completely transformed. But, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, the course didn't work out. And in 2014, after years of it being open and operating, the original course kind of, subsided, kind of tapered off. And there was a group that recognized some potential with this land. I mean, the land is incredible, rolling
Yeah.
hills.
750 acres out here in the middle of the trees.
Yeah,
So pretty cool. It's rolling out here too, which you don't normally see in Houston.
yeah. No, it's really interesting to see all the rolling hills, and I want to get into it too, with just from what I observed playing out here for the first time today. Um, but there was a group that was called Beacon Land Development. They actually identified this property and they partnered with Tiger Woods and his design firm to basically just like reimagine the entire property and turn it into what it is today. So that was sort of like the birth of Bluejack was back in 2014. Now, there was some construction obviously that had to be done. So 2015 is when construction started on the new course. This was really fascinating to me as I was digging into some history on Bluejack. Is this is actually the first golf course in the United States that Tiger Woods and his firm designed.
Right. Yeah. How
So
cool
like
is that?
to be like less than an hour from our hometown
Hmm.
and of all places in the United States for Tiger
Yeah.
to pick.
Yeah. Our town, Houston, Texas.
I mean,
How
just
cool is that?
so fortunate. So fortunate. Um, the whole course really though is set up to be playable, right? It's
Right.
it's it's a
Yeah.
it's a playable course. The greens are very tough, very
Yeah.
undulating. That's definitely where you have to really
Yeah.
sort of hone in your shots. But we talked about it a little bit earlier in the den. It's not a stressful golf course in the sense that like you stay on the tee and you're like, holy shit, I have to hit this shot. Like I have to hit it through this chute, and if I don't, there's trouble on both sides. It's a little bit forgiving off the tee. I did find this interesting though, as I was doing some research on the course, is that wide fairways, little rough, things like that. I did hit a few shots today that found some of those spots of rough.
Yeah.
So there is rough out
Yeah.
here, to be clear. It's not the deepest rough, but it's very similar to Augusta.
It is. It is. Tiger designed this course to replicate Augusta National, from
Yeah,
the pine straw to the bunkers, just more so open open fairways. Just it's extremely forgiving, but the greens can definitely beat you up a little bit. But
yeah. And in the previous episode, we talked about the making of the Masters
yeah,
and Augusta National, sort
yeah,
of how that came about. And in the very early days, and even leading up until the 90s, really, Augusta was a very playable course off the tee. But where they get you is around the greens. Your short game really has to
right,
be
yeah,
refined. So there's a lot of little subtle nuances, but also like in your face, just very aware that this is sort of the Augusta of Texas,
yeah,
which is super
yeah,
cool. So April 2016 was when Bluejack National officially opened. Grand opening had some pretty notable figures. Tiger was obviously here himself. Mark O'Mara was here as well, and even David Faraday. So some interesting
yeah.
guys. I know there's been a lot of celebrities and other influential people that have come out here. It's a very exclusive club, but as you put it eloquently earlier, it's like laid back luxury.
Yeah, yeah. The motto here is laid back luxury, which is it's so true and so cool when you go to compare it to other private clubs. It's extremely family oriented. Um, I mean, you can come out here and play golf in a t-shirt, play golf with your dog. Kids can run around anywhere. You don't have to worry about anybody scolding you about them. It's just, yeah. I mean, the motto "laid back luxury" here is so true. It is a very very relaxed family environment, and that's what they played off of here, and they've done it extremely well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's when I first pulled into the property, I was amazed because you pull off the highway, you turn down a little road that's very unassuming, and then all of a sudden you're greeted with this sort of grand entrance,
yeah,
which is super cool.
yeah,
Just tucked in the pines, and if you drove down the highway, you would have no idea that a facility like
yeah,
this even existed.
yeah,
But going through the gates, pretty special just to see them open up and see the Blue Jack sign
yeah.
coming in.
It's it's so cool. I mean, there's multiple buildings here, and you have the fort, which is an arcade slash water park, bowling alley, a mock of Fenway Park for kickball and softball, pickleball, tennis. and you get the spa right down the road, full gym, um, masseuses on deck, men's locker room, women's locker room, Olympic sized pool, outdoor cold plunge, outdoor hot tub, full service, cappuccinos, healthy smoothies, stuff like that. It's wild. And then you get out into the golf course, and there's Blake Cottage, which is hot dogs and a candy shop and a bar and cigars. And then we have, of course, the Jerky Shack, which is what people love out here. I mean, they make their own jerky here. They're smoking barbecue all night long. Bar, another candy shop for the kids. It's just kind of wild. It's so cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean the family friendly environment is really cool. I didn't experience it when I first got here because, I pulled in, got my club set up on a cart, went into the to the clubhouse, hit the men's locker room, just getting ready for the round, met you on the range, and then, we teed off and we were on our way. But this evening, as we wrapped up, we walked over to the short course, and we'll talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
here shortly. I really felt the family environment that was here, which is super cool. I mean,
Yeah.
to get to bring your kids out here, I know you've brought Harper out here, your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be so cool just to see her light up. She goes into the candy shop. You mentioned the Jerky Shack. I
Yeah.
mean, holy shit, the brisket on
Yeah.
point, smoked turkey on point,
Yeah.
the beef jerky, the Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
beef jerky. It is it's really interesting to see the evolution of golf, right? And you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, which is it's not just about the golf course. It's about the experience.
Right.
And
Yeah.
out here it's like it's all the little details that really otherwise people may not notice, but it's the culmination of all those little details
Yeah.
that makes this place just so incredibly
Yeah.
special.
Like hole one today. Hole one's called the lemon drop.
Yeah.
She made me a lemon drop shot in an ice glass and then hands me a Louisville slugger to nail the shot glass with after I hit it. Like,
Yeah.
what golf club does
Yeah.
that?
It's
Like music, teas, Gatorades, waters, full bar. It's just like right off the bat.
yeah.
It's just a different vibe.
It is a different vibe, but I'm all for it because I feel like golf for the longest time has had this image of very stuffy, very pretentious, and you come out at a place like this and it's like there is zero
Yeah.
stuffiness. It's all just like it's laid back luxury,
Yeah.
like what you said earlier. I mean the course being here, I want to dive into a round here shortly, but this place is highly renowned. It's gotten a lot of recognition, a lot of accolades. So, keep in mind it was opened in 2016. By 2023, Golf Week actually ranked it as the number one residential golf course in Texas. There's a lot of options to choose from.
Yeah.
Like Texas is a big state, so that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
And then number 18 in the US overall. So, 7 years into having a course open, you're already getting these, you know, top accolades. It's pretty incredible. And then same thing in 2024, right? I've seen a few accounts here as of late that have posted Texas specific rankings, and there was one today. I hesitate to say which account it was, but I was looking at the list as I was like driving here, as I was taking a pit stop, and I saw that it was ranked like 10 or something in Texas. And I'm not like a big
I
comments
think I know
guy.
which course you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not like a big like fish in the comments kind of guy, but I was like, let me just see like what other people are
Yeah.
responding to this. And sure enough, I saw numerous people that are like Bluejack at whatever it was, 8 or 10, like that's a joke. So just to even be in that conversation is obviously pretty special. I
Yeah.
mean, this is to me what was the big takeaway of playing here is that this really is Augusta in Texas.
Yeah.
You have the big undulating greens, you have the wide fairways, you have the pure white bunkers, deep bunkers, steep faces. Um, a lot of a lot of feel of Augusta, and we'll get into it here in a second because there's a couple holes that are sort of like inspired by that. But you could tell Tiger had his vision
Yeah,
with this place.
absolutely.
So you talked a little bit about the fort earlier, talked a little bit about the comfort stations, but let's dive into that a little bit further because like you've played out here a lot now at this point. Do you still feel like when you come back that it's just as enjoyable as the first time you came here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, to me, it's crazy. You know, you can drive 45 minutes and just feel like I'm on vacation out here. It's it's so cool and such a good feeling. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, it's just every time I come out here, it's a new experience. I meet new amazing people. Bringing my daughter out here is just it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids have full reins of this property. You can go into the fort and they have chaperones. You can hire these chaperones on an hourly on an hourly basis, and you get their numbers, and they'll literally follow your kids around all day long while the adults go play golf or go out to dinner. And it's so cool. I mean, from the candy shops on the golf course to having running around through the bunkers on the playground to grabbing smoothies in the spa. It's just yeah, it's awesome. So
Yeah, it's I'm really glad you expand on that a little bit because that just goes back to our earlier conversation with the little details.
yeah,
Everything here is just first class,
yeah,
but again, it doesn't have the stuffiness. It's
yeah,
just you're coming here, you're having a good time. They got music playing, they're playing Turnpike, Zach Brown, Whiskey Myers, Sturgill Simpson, whatever. Like it's a hang, but you get to play a premium golf
yeah,
course in the state of Texas.
yeah,
So we earlier we talked about the fort. You mentioned the fort
yeah,
and that there's like a mini Fenway replica. I haven't been over there yet.
yeah.
Hopefully we'll go check that out here at some point. But what's the fort like?
And the fort is like every kid's dream, and it's like a mini Dave and Buster's. It's got a couple bowling alley lanes, um, pool, water slides. I mean, pickleball, tennis, and then of course the mini Fenway that's obviously for kickball and softball.
Yeah,
It's got rental bikes down there, and it's any it's a dream for the kids,
yeah.
and any given weekend, they'll have moonwalks brought in. They actually even have a football field out there.
Oh,
It's wild. They've got it all. Oh, and not to mention you can rent um, kayaks. What are those things called?
like paddle
The
boats.
paddle boards,
Yeah,
and then the paddle boats and stuff. Oh,
yeah.
and fishing rods, and you can fish right there on the lake. It's like it's so cool. And then they have kind of an old school like kids diner with like
Hmm.
this 80s vibe. It kind of looks like a 80s diner ice cream vibe, but of course it has a full bar for the adults as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love you mentioned earlier that it's like a vacation when you come out here and
yeah,
the kids get to enjoy it, but let's not kid ourselves. The adults are
yeah,
having a good time too.
yeah, exactly. This is Dad's Disneyland out here.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. So we played one round so far at the playground. So they've got a short course out here, 10 hole par three course, ranges between like 45 to 95 yards. Um, we played a day round earlier. You did win that match and you took some money from me. So we're gonna have to run that back tonight
yes,
because it's
sir.
it's lit. I can see it right now. It's lit, so hopefully maybe after another drink or two, I'll be able to get my money back
Yeah,
tonight with that. So we've talked a lot about the amenities and all the stuff that they have to offer out here. Um, Talk to me a little bit about Rich Barcelo, the head pro out here.
yeah, yeah. So if you're looking out onto the driving range, it's that Texas shed in the back left corner. It's called Cuddy's Corner. And yeah, I mean, he's got the dream job. He's back there giving lessons. He's got the Bluejack light on draft back there. full demo. I think most of it's tailor made. You know, the life size Tiger Woods poster right there on the mat.
Yeah.
It's just it's so cool, and he is such an awesome guy that knows so much about the game. He's on the tour for years. Everybody out here loves him. But yeah, Rich Barcelo, aka Cuddy, he's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but was really fun for me too. We were in the pro shop earlier and I was racking up a little bit of a tab, getting my usual, knickknacks and things like that. And my go-to, as I told you earlier, is I like to get, some sort of a ball marker. I'm big on yardage books. I know yardage books aren't the biggest thing now because a lot of us, myself included, we use our apps
Yeah.
for a lot of things, but I like collecting yardage books. It's just kind of like an old school sort of, I don't know, representation of the course. And so I try to collect a yardage book at most, if not all, courses that I play. And then, of course, hat, polo, whatever else sort of comes up. But while we are in the pro shop, I was sitting there and I was looking at shirts, and all of a sudden this guy walks in and he goes, Cody Wise, what's going on? And he sticks his hand out. And I was like, Jacob. So Jacob, he
Small
works
world.
out here now. He was at Grey Rock in Austin for years. And I've known him because Grey Rock's one of the courses that I go practice at quite a bit, play out there a decent amount, but it's close to the house. So I do a lot of practice out there. Played in a member guest with a buddy, Brad Crete, last year. And Jacob's the man. He's been out here, he said, for like a month. But yeah, he said whenever he had the opportunity to come out here, he talked to his bosses at Grey Rock, and they're like, "Dude, get the fuck out of here! Like,
Yeah.
that's an awesome opportunity." Yeah. So like, what a cool spot. I mean, just familiar faces obviously was cool. Haven't met Cuddy yet, but would love to at some point. So some other things that really came to mind and thinking about just this course and sitting down with you today and recording this episode is we talked about the feel of Augusta out here, but number 12 is the signature hole. And it really is kind of a play on number 12 at Augusta, right? Yeah. Golden Bell. So tell me a little bit about just like you've played out here a number of times, but when you go and tee off on that hole, do you get a sense that like you're kind of on aiming corner? Because I definitely did today, but I'm curious from you too.
Yeah, it honestly means a lot to hear somebody like you say that, who's been to Augusta and stood there. I've never been there, so who am I to say that? Um, I've watched on TV my entire life, and so it's easy for me to say, yeah, this looks like Augusta, and which it does. I mean, it truly does. From just the layout of the hole to the azaleas in the back left corner, um, it's incredible. But yeah, I mean, uh, I don't think myself has the say in whether or not it truly replicates Augusta like you do.
Yeah.
But that's so cool to hear you say that because that truly means that it does from your eyes perspective.
That's fair. I've been very fortunate to be out at Augusta a few times, and I cannot emphasize enough the resemblance out here of Augusta.
Yeah.
Having had a chance to play Augusta yet, hopefully at some point that will get checked off the bucket list.
Now, I guess I'm going to ask you something. So, Augusta, I mean, we say it's rolling out here because it is for Houston, but Augusta's significantly more rolling, correct?
Yeah, I mean, from the moment that you walk into Augusta, you go through the north gate and you enter into like basically the main part of the property. And when you first walk in, you've got the range and practice area on your left. You've got the pro shop on the right, and then you basically make your way up this small hill to the first tee. And from that part of the course to where Amen Corner is a significant drop. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe I could check and plug it in the episode somewhere, but I want to say it's at least like 10, 11, 12, maybe more stories
Jeez.
tall from where
Yeah.
it drops off to the lowest point. So
Wow.
it's more exaggerated out there from the highs to the lows, but still out here, you still get that feeling on the individual
Yeah.
holes.
Yeah.
And 12 out here, the signature hole, beautiful hole. Our group thankfully played it pretty well. This
Yeah.
was right after the Jerky Shack too. So
Yeah.
we got what is it? The Bluejack. The signature drink
The
is the
jackhammer.
the jackhammer. So
Yeah, and I believe it's Deep Eddy's grapefruit, Sprite with a splash of cranberry and a lime.
yeah, so like Blue Jack's version of a transfusion almost.
Yeah,
But
almost.
yeah, pretty cool to have that comfort station, get loaded up with some drinks.
Barbecue.
Our playing partner, Scott Sewell, he got his margarita, frozen margarita, which by the way, he played one of the best rounds, if not the best round that I've ever seen him play. I've been fortunate to play with him a number of times at a lot of different golf courses. And it was really, really fun to see him kind of settle in
Yeah.
and have such a good time out here. But um, so for today's round, like when you think of highlights of the day, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, honestly, out here, the highlights always, when I have the opportunity to bring somebody, thanks to the White Spears, um, it's just kind of enjoying the place with the guests that have never been here before,
Mm,
especially people that have been a part of this game for so long, like yourself and Scott. Um, to me, that's the best part. It's just watching y'all take it in and enjoy things like, you know, from the conditions of the course to Blake's Cottage and the Jerky Shack and the replication of hole number 12. To me, it's always a highlight. Bringing my dad out here, my cousins, my friends. It's cool. It's the best part for me.
yeah.
I whether I play well or bad, I love bringing y'all out here, and so yeah, that's the best part for me.
Well, I definitely appreciate you extending the invite. We talked when we were playing on the playgrounds earlier. Extremely grateful for you thinking of me and inviting me to come out here, and Jeff too. Jeff
Yeah,
Whitespear, him being in the group. Man, what a fun guy. I
yeah,
mean, he's just like such a fun guy to play golf with. It was really cool. I always find it's best to get to know somebody on a golf course
yeah,
because obviously like you're stuck with them for 4 to 5 hours, right? And sometimes it can be, it's like, oh man, like I got paired up with this single and it wasn't like the greatest experience.
yeah,
But to me, that's I don't know, it's one of my favorite parts of the game is the relationships that you're able to build. And, you and I have been friends for a long time. So, it's been really cool just to be able to deepen our own friendship through this beautiful game.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I'm so blessed and thankful to the White Spirit family to not only be the members out here, but to offer this place up to me as regular as they do, and have me, fill these groups at times.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Well, shout out Jeff. All right. So we're going to wrap up, but I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So, favorite course that you have played to date?
Oh,
Been playing for 30 plus years. I'm sure there's a number of courses that come to mind, but
yeah.
what's the one course that, if your ticket got punched today, you would want to get one final round at that course?
A course that I've already played.
Yep, course that you've already played.
It's the Sagamore on Lake George, Bolton Landing, New York. It's a Donald Ross. It's been around forever. Um, just holds a special place in my heart. Um, family's owned a home out there since the early 60s, and it's my favorite place on the planet. And
Yeah,
it's just a spectacular golf course in the middle of the Adirondack Mountains with views of Lake George.
yeah,
It's just, to me, there's nothing like it.
yeah.
It's the mountain air, and it's unbelievable.
That's awesome. So, Will, final question for you before we wrap up today. Dream course that you haven't played yet that's accessible.
Yeah. Okay. Accessible, I would say Driftwood out in Driftwood, Texas, and then also Pebble Beach. Haven't made my way out there yet, but
Yeah,
got to.
yeah.
My dad loves it. So
Well, according to Jack Nicklaus, that would be his course that he would play, which is pretty incredible because you've got on paper the greatest of all time, saying Pebble Beach.
yeah,
So I also have not been out there yet. I'm itching to get out there. I would love to be able to do an episode out of Pebble one day, hopefully here in the near future. But man, I can't thank you enough for again the invite to come out here. Such a great day today. I mean, just incredible stuff. Thank you again. Yeah, For The Ages, YouTube, Instagram, X, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you want to do. But yeah, until next time.
cool, man. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Thank you so much for coming out, man.
Absolutely.